Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I love the tight end, Jeremy Rucker. We talked about it in the post-game show last week. Coach Urban Meyer called him the best tight end recruit he's ever seen. I mean, he has the frame, 6'6", 250 pounds, and just to get this guy the ball, get confidence early and often to Justin Fields, get the ball to the tight end. And J.K. Dobbins, you know, he's probably playing with a little chip on his shoulder today. He had the fumble last week, but I did some research, 425 carries and only 3 fumbles, so that doesn't happen very often. This is a 1,400-yard back, guys, 1,400-yard back in 2017, second only to Jonathan Taylor. He had a little bit of a down year, 1,050 yards. I don't know how you call that a down year, right. but you go from 7 yards a carry to about 4.5 yards a carry. You really feel that in the offense. So we need to get J.K. going this year. Takes a lot of pressure off of Justin. I like the under center look, just something different for defenses to have to scheme for. When you look back and you see all the great athletes that are going to be on the field today, a Sean Clifford, a K.J. Hamler, I think those are two guys you're going to want to watch out for today. But when you look at Ohio State, you talk about Justin Fields. You're talking about J.K. Dobbins. You're talking about the plethora of receivers, a Benjamin Victor. I think you remember Buckeye Nation, that 48-yard catch and run in which it almost looked like slow motion. He was almost the Matrix getting into the end zone right there. Those are career-defining moments, and you're going to see that today in the Ohio State-Penn State matchup. It's no disrespect for a Florida Atlantic, a Miami, Ohio, but you come to Ohio State to play primetime football. Jay, I played for Luke Fickell in 2011, and, you know, it still gets a little under my skin where, you know, they call him the interim head coach. He was the head football coach here in 2011. It was a tough year, 6-7. You lose to the team up north. You lose the bowl game. But I was on that team, and as much as it was the coaching, it was the players. There was a lack of accountability in that locker room. So for Coach Fickell to have this opportunity at Cincinnati, I think we're all thrilled. You want to be a Luke Fickell fan if you're an Ohio State fan. You have to root for this guy. But we do have to line up against him, and this should be a great game today. Cincinnati won 12 of their last 14 games. They're an 11-2 football team, gaining confidence in the American Athletic Conference. But when you look at the X's and O's today, I think Ohio State does take the cake in just about every category. I know you mentioned Michael Warren there. This guy is a quality back. Anytime you're Mr. Ohio in the state of Ohio, you know that you can run the football effectively. But, you know, Luke Fickell, just the utmost respect for him. He's a guy who is a Buckeye through and through. You heard Clay say it, over 21 years as a Buckeye, 5 as a player, and then over 15 as a coach, was under Coach Tressel, under Coach Meyer, played with a torn pec in the Rose Bowl. So how can Buckeye fans not be endeared to this guy? And he looks faster to me this year. I've been talking to Clay when we're up in the press box. This guy just looks quicker. He looks like he's maybe taken a tenth or two off of his 40-yard dash. And thus far this year, 654 yards, 5 touchdowns, as Jay alluded to, around 7 yards a carry. That's back to his true freshman sensation year, around 2017, when he was a 1,400-yard back. Last year, 39-38, highly emotional win versus Penn State, similar to the 27-26 this past week. Went out to Iowa and laid an egg. They put up 55 points on us. So you need to watch for a letdown today. I guarantee you, Urban Meyer in that locker room, guys, I was in that locker room in 2012. He's preaching no letdown today. You got to handle your business in front of the team that's put in front of you. It's the Indiana Hoosiers today. As we've alluded to, it's a good football team. They need to be on it today. He's a consummate professional, and he's probably the most intense coach that I ever played for. When I think of Urban Meyer, it's an incredible intensity, and that's what I absolutely love about him. And, you know, Dwayne coming into this game, a Heisman Trophy finalist as well. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. I said this in the newscast, for a 5,000-yard, 50-touchdown season. He's sitting at 47 touchdowns right now, almost 4,600 yards. I mean, just chew on that for a second. Yeah. You've alluded to the culture that Urban Meyer has built here. Very impressive, but, you know, you're the head guy in the locker room at TCU. Things were a little shaky the first half. I think what a lot of Buckeye Nation wants to know, you know, so much of coaching is motivational as well. What did you say to the team at halftime?
Well, to be honest, going into the game, we talked.
You know, guys, I'll say it flat out. Ryan Day just impresses me. I mean, he is cool, calm, collected. We knew we were getting a great coach. When you talk about X's and O's, he comes from the Chip Kelly coaching line. But so much of coaching is leadership. And when you just talk to him, he's what we would call a servant leader. He talked about empowering his coaches, power of the unit. He's humble enough to say, hey, this is Urban Meyer's culture. But I wanted to give him some credit there. I mean, when it was in the thick of things there in Arlington, Texas, when they're down, he's in there motivating, motivating those guys. Or adjusting, making those adjustments. So you better believe schools all across the country, they're taking note of Ryan Day. I think Ohio State is going to have a very tough time holding on to this guy after this year.
Take it away.
Well, it makes sense. Since I'm the only non-D lineman that's on this show, I'm going to talk about the D-line. Is that okay, man? So I'm talking about the D-line. Great coach and Larry Johnson. Guys, I've been down to practice. This D-line is massive. They are fast. Jalen Holmes, Sam Hubbard, Nick Bosa. The list goes on and on and on. Yeah. Dripping with talent, literally dripping with talent. I can't wait to watch them just pin their ears back, get going. Greg Schiano, the defensive coordinator, he called them the most talented defensive line he's ever been around. You know, he brought up a great point. He goes up against one of the very best defensive lines every day in college football. So he's going against Sam Hubbard. He's going against Tyquan Lewis. He's going up against some of the very best guys that are going to be playing on Sundays. So it's not an accident that Jamarco Jones, left tackle for the Ohio State Buckeyes, has become one of the most elite guys in college football because he's playing against some of the most elite guys every single day in